G'day everybody, it's Dave from Wing Chun Mind Force. Bit of story time today. I'm just going to discuss a poem in this old book, The Tao of Jeet Kune. It's by BruceLee, sort of. I bought this back in 86 to replace one I bought in 76, and it always confused me a bit back then because it seemed to be sort of jumping all over the place a lot, and I've since of course come to understand that it was put together by Linda Lee, Bruce's wife, and another gentleman as a just a book to get out there to the fans. We were all very hungry for anything to do with Bruce, so they just took notes and stuff that he'd written without really understanding that a lot of it was taken from other people, from the writings of other great thinkers. But anyway, this poem at the start and this drawing are by Bruce. The drawing's definitely by Bruce, and Bruce was actually a bit of a poet and not a bad one. And some people have said this poem's written by others. I think it's inspired by things in Zen and Kung Fu thinking and Taoism. But I do believe it's Bruce sort of put things together in his own poetic way. So this is the Taoist Priest, and obviously it was something Bruce thought about, and as he was getting older, you know, he died in his early 30s, so he wasn't very old. He'd made a name as a great action star, but he's also extremely interested in Chinese philosophy, getting to the heart of what Zen and martial arts and Taoism and all these ways of thinking are about. So I think this poem is very significant for us in Wing Chun, so I'm just going to read it and explain it in my own understanding as we go. As I start, I'll just say I believe this poem is essentially about using the Nim Tao, using the subconscious mind and not the conscious mind. So he starts off saying, "Into a soul absolutely free from thoughts and emotions, even the tiger finds no room to insert its fierce claws." So straight away he's saying that if you can be free from thoughts and emotions and truly meditate, become still, then even the tiger finds no room to insert its fierce claws. So it's poetic, but it means that there's a lot of violent things in this world that need a response from you to get going, like the guy who's really angry, wants a fight. If you respond to him with thoughts and emotion, he'll find room to insert his fierce claws. Even if you might win, you'll get hurt. But if you can be very still, very much the grey man with no thoughts and emotions going out, you'll find that they'll tend to get confused and they won't know what to do. Next verse, "One and the same breeze passes over the pines on the mountain and the oak trees in the valley. And why do they give different notes?" I've always puzzled about this one a bit, but to me it means that the wind of life, qi you might say, it blows over such different creatures, and each creature gives its own song in life, and each one of us is different. So we speak different languages, we're male and female, we're big and small, we're educated, not educated, we're happy people or grumpy people. All sorts of things make us different, but there's different notes that come from that same breeze of life, or the breeze of qi. Next, third verse, "No thinking, no reflecting, perfect emptiness, yet therein something moves, following its own course." Now, this is a classic because I made a series of videos called Wing Chun Secrets in Plain Sight, and it was essentially about this, that when you stop thinking, stop reflecting, stop trying, become perfectly empty and calm that conscious mind at the front, and become really, really soft and empty, perfect emptiness, then You can feel that nothing will happen and you won't be powerful. But here he says, yet therein something moves following its own course. And that's the actual fact of the unconscious mind, is that it does things independent of you. And when you can achieve no thinking, no reflecting, perfect emptiness, you'll find that something does move inside, and it feels like it's moving you, like a wind of life, or like an energy that's moving you, and it'll move you into the right movements and the right thing to do in a situation. And that's, Bruce was very interested in a book called Zen in the Way of Archery, and the old Japanese archery master says to the German student who's been learning with him very devotedly for a couple of years, he said, you think if you don't do it, nothing happens. He said, but what we're looking for is it. The thing, I don't hit, it hits all by himself. That's what Bruce is talking about here. When you completely empty out, it moves and it follows its own course. Next verse, the eye sees it, but no hand can take hold of it, the moon in the stream. And this is a strange one, isn't it? But it really means that we live inside an illusion, as it were, that what we see as the moon is really more like the moon in the stream. It's like the moon in a video, or the moon in water, in a reflection. If it's perfectly calm, it looks like the moon, but you can't take hold of it. You try to take hold of the moon, you just get water. And it's the same with life. What we see as reality is coming to us through our eyes, from light, through other senses, but in the end, we're sort of somewhere inside there. And that's one of the secrets of Wing Chun, is to become virtual. To see the world as virtual and to act as if it is, and then you'll find that that's how things happen, and you're producing tremendous force, but you're not feeling anything, as if you're just watching a computer game or playing a game or watching the moon in the stream. The eye sees it, but no hand can take hold of it, the moon in the stream. So that's a famous old meditation, actually. Next one, clouds and mists, they are mid-air transformations. Above them eternally shine the sun and the moon. Now, I take this to mean that clouds and mists are like the thinking, the thoughts and emotions up there. Clouds and mists are like thoughts and emotions. The clouds and mists are just mid-air transformations. They're just something that's going on, but above them eternally shine the sun and the moon. There's no clouds out there in space. And anyone who's flown high in a big jet or some other thing know that it can be a really cloudy, stormy day, and once you get above those clouds, suddenly, whoop, it's just sunny and lovely. So they're always up there. So this is basically saying that the thoughts and the self-doubt and the things that we worry about, they're just like clouds and mist. They're just mid-air transformations going on, but the real thing is above them. It's the sun and the moon, which are always there, which is basically our connection to the universe, to our subconscious mind, to others, to the wisdom of the universe, you might say. Lastly, victory is for the one, even before the combat, who has no thought of himself, abiding in the no-mindedness of great origin. Now, that's heavy, man. But really, it's true. It's saying that the great victory comes if you have no thought of yourself. And abiding means living in, inhabiting the no-mindedness of great origin. Now, no-mindedness is essentially the Nim Tao mind state. It means no conscious mindedness. You just stay in that state of no-mindedness, and it's the no-mindedness of great origin. So here we get to a pretty profound thing. He's just saying basically We are connected to everything. We're connected to God, to the Great Self, to the Buddha, to the Tao, whatever you want to call it, whatever floats your particular boat, whatever works for you. That's the great origin. That's where the power comes from. That's where Wing Chun Mind Force, that's where Nimlik comes from. It's through our connection to that Nim mind, which is the mind that has no thought for itself. It's just the natural mind. So there you go. That's my attempt to explain quite a difficult poem, and I've never really seen anybody else try to explain it. I've been thinking about it for 40 years plus, and I think I'm pretty much on the money, just based on Bruce's other interests and the things I've read in Zen, Kung Fu philosophy, Buddhism, Taoism, the Tao Te Ching, and things that our Sifus have taught us in Wing Chun. So I'll leave it with that. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next time.